If you guys follow me on Instagram, you'd know that I broke my foot. If you don't follow me on Instagram, make sure you guys go do that right now. It's colinlikewhat, same thing as the YouTube. This is gonna be another one of those voiceover episodes. I have a bunch of footage that I filmed in San Francisco from the Fiend trip. So if you're not already comfortable, make sure you do that. Get some popcorn, candy, water, soda, whatever. Relax, because I got a lot of explaining to do. I think the first sign that this was gonna be the trip from hell was the drive up there. I think within 2 or 3 hours of us driving up there was a wildfire on the side of the highway. Dude, it's like live. No way that's controlled. Look at the helicopter. We couldn't tell where it was coming from initially, but as we drove the road, there was a semi flipped over. What it looked like to us was that the gas tanker, the semi flipped over and caused this fire that was drifting up the entire side of the mountain. I mean, it was crazy. You guys can see in the footage. We ended up stopping at In-N-Out, I think like 3 miles up the road, where you can still kind of see the smoke. I was able to pull my drone out. On our way up to San Francisco for a BMX trip, myself, Garrett, and Tony are at In-N-Out, and we were just driving down the highway when we saw that massive fire that I just showed you guys. I got my drone right here. I'm gonna get it up. It looks like a semi crashed and just caught on fire. But we were so far away at that point that I wasn't able to capture much except the traffic that was heading southbound. So I'm glad we were heading north. It took pretty much the entire day for us to drive up to San Francisco. We crashed out, and the next day I really didn't film much for the YouTube. We rode one spot and then tried to get to a few other spots, weren't having the best of luck. The second day I had planned on putting out like a video from just that day. I'd filmed a bunch of stuff throughout the day. It was actually the best day of the trip.
We in here?
We're in here live, dude.
All right. So, tip number 1 for going on trips. When you see everyone putting their bikes on the rack, walk away. If you stay away long enough, your bike will get put on the rack for you.
Started out with us checking out this awesome school.
Never stop jumping.
Really cool downhill line. I can't wait till you guys. I'm gonna show you this clip right now before I even talk about it. Is that not the coolest thing ever? I would never be able to film anything like that if I didn't have the gimbal. I was able to run through grass downstairs. Can't thank GoPro enough for hooking it up with the Karma Grip. After we got done riding the first school, we kind of just spent the rest of the day checking out a few different spots. A lot of the stuff we checked out was kind of stuff that you'd film on, not really sessionable. But we ended up having probably the best evening session I've ever had in my entire life. I mean, this spot was insane. And right now, we're on the bay. We're about to check out this awesome spot. It's like a famous spot on the water. Everyone's all packed up. Ty's got the fresh camera gear over here. What you got, dude? Show them what you got.
Oh, I got a gimbal in there, but they don't even see that yet.
really a shame how things can go from so good to so bad in literally less than 30 minutes. We went out to eat at a sandwich spot in downtown San Francisco. We weren't in the sandwich spot for more than 30-40 minutes. When we came out, Ty's back window was smashed in. Yesterday I left you guys off. We were eating at Tommy's barbecue spot. We were getting some sandwiches. Now, when we came outside, I hate that I even have to talk about this. Ty's car got broke into, and his camera bag was sitting right on the seat that the window was broken into. Ty really did handle the whole thing like a trooper. He started to GoFundMe. I'm gonna link that below in the description. If you guys could help out, it'd be awesome. I mean, he lost like $7,000, I think, in total worth of stuff. Insurance didn't really cover anything. And I mean, you could read all about it in the description of the GoFundMe. We spent the next morning driving around to a few different pawn shops in hopes of stumbling across his setup, to no avail. We ended up riding a spot for a few hours before him and Andrew made the trek back down to LA. And from there, myself, Tony, and Garrett made the trek to Sacramento, where we met up with Augie the next day. I didn't really film much the first day we were in Sacramento, but the second day I pulled out my camera a little bit and filmed a few things. We ended up finishing the day off at a rail spot. I was trying to do something as it was getting dark, and I guess I just hesitated. All it takes is a half a second, just a little bit of undercommitment, and it was enough to where my foot blew off, and I stomped my foot really hard on the ground. I didn't know whether my foot was broken or not. I knew that I messed it up. I knew it was going to be a few days before I was going to be able to ride again, at least after I had initially hit it on the ground, but my adrenaline was still pumping. So I just tightened up my shoes and ran back up, and I ended up actually pulling the trick. It took me 2 more tries. I did it the second try, but I wanted to do a little better. I did it the third try. And then I kind of sat down, put my foot in the air, and then the adrenaline started to wear off, and I was in a lot of pain. We packed up the car and headed to another spot. Garrett had something he wanted to try to film, and he ended up re-aggravating an injury that he sustained in the beginning of the trip, just pulled muscle. But it was enough to the point where, like, between my injury and him not feeling right, we kind of just were like, yo, let's call it. And I think it was like 2 or 3 in the morning, and we just started booking it south. We ended up getting back to San Diego at like 8 o'clock the next morning. Originally, I wasn't even going to get an x-ray because I didn't think my foot was broken, but I was planning on going to the Source contest in Hastings. It's in like 3 weeks, so I figured it'd be a good idea for me to just make sure everything's okay before I went ahead and booked that ticket. And unfortunately, I got some pretty bad news. Now, as bummed out as I am that I'm going to have to miss the Source contest and that I broke my foot, I'm thankful that I don't need surgery. It's only going to be like 4 to 6 weeks of me recovering and trying not to lose my mind. But I'm happy that I have this YouTube and I have this channel so I can show you guys kind of, this isn't my first injury. I've had a lot of injuries. I've been going through this pretty much since I was a little kid. So I take it pretty serious when I get hurt, because I know that if you put in a lot of effort and you put in a lot of energy into healing, into getting better, into getting back, that when you do come back, you're going to feel 100% again, and that is really important to me. I don't like to come back from injuries not 100%. I like to really put all my energy into healing, into getting better, into getting back on my bike, because it's what I love to do. So if you're not already subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit that button. I'm going to be taking you guys through my journey, through my recovery. I started a little hashtag, come back like what. It's kind of corny, but I like it. Also, I didn't forget about the fork giveaway. I picked someone from the comments. I just have to reach out and make sure that this person is in America before I announce it on the channel, but I plan to do so later this week. 5,000 likes is going to be the next giveaway. I haven't decided exactly what I'm going to be giving you guys yet, but I promise it's going to be worth it.